Sometimes it's not the big things that cause us to stumble, it's the quiet hidden changes that slip in over time. Maybe you've noticed it yourself. Standing up from a chair feels harder than before. Walking across the room seems slower. Or perhaps you've started to feel a little unsure on your feet, just enough to make you pause, reach for support, or hesitate before taking that next step. What if we told you that one of the most overlooked reasons for these changes is something many people never think about: hip weakness? After the age of 70, our bodies naturally begin to shift. Muscles lose tone, joints stiffen, and movements we once made without thinking now take more effort. And quietly, the muscles around your hips, the very ones that help you stay upright, lift your feet, and stabilize your body, can begin to weaken. The result, a higher risk of falling. Not because you're careless, not because you're aging wrong, but simply because your body hasn't been given the chance to strengthen what matters most. In today's video, we'll uncover the hidden link between hip weakness and falls, and show you how small steps can lead to greater strength, stability, and peace of mind. If you've ever felt unsure on your feet or want to stay active and independent longer, you're in the right place. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe for more supportive content from Senior Wellness, because every strong step forward begins with understanding. Why hip muscles are so important for balance. When we think about balance, we often picture our feet, knees, or maybe our posture. But one of the most important and often forgotten parts of the body that keeps us steady is the hip. The muscles surrounding your hips are the silent stabilizers of your body. They help you lift your leg, pivot smoothly, and keep you upright while walking, standing, or changing direction. And after the age of 70, when balance can become more of a challenge, your hip strength becomes even more important. The hips are at the center of everything. They connect your upper body to your lower body, guiding the motion of your legs while also keeping your spine aligned. The stronger and more active these muscles are, the easier it is for you to react quickly, like when you catch yourself from tripping, or when you need to turn suddenly. But here's the problem: hip weakness often develops quietly. It doesn't always announce itself with pain or discomfort. In fact, many people don't realize their hips have weakened until they begin to notice little changes, such as difficulty standing up from a low chair, walking with shorter steps, or feeling a little wobbly while turning. Over time, these small changes can lead to a greater risk of falling, especially if you're not aware of what's behind them. Research has shown that hip weakness is a major contributor to balance issues in older adults. When your hips aren't strong enough to support your movements, other muscles like those in your lower back or thighs try to compensate. This throws off your natural alignment and makes every step more unstable. That's why keeping your hips strong isn't just about improving movement, it's about staying safe, independent, and confident in your daily life. At Senior Wellness, we encourage older adults to think of their hips as the foundation of steady movement. By strengthening these muscles, you're not just preventing falls, you're investing in your ability to keep doing the things you love. Walking with a friend, gardening, shopping, or simply moving around your home with ease. The good news: it's never too late to rebuild strength. Even gentle exercises can begin to restore stability and improve your balance. If you've noticed that getting up feels harder, your stride is shorter, or you're relying more on handrails or furniture for support, it may be a sign that your hips are asking for attention. In the journey of senior living, the strongest steps forward often begin with awareness and a willingness to care for what holds you up every day. With support from Senior Wellness, you can take small, meaningful steps to strengthen your foundation and protect your freedom. One confident stride at a time. How hip weakness develops quietly after 70. One of the most surprising things about hip weakness is just how quietly it shows up. It doesn't usually come with sharp pain or a dramatic injury. Instead, it builds slowly, little by little, until one day you notice you can't quite move like you used to. After the age of 70, many adults begin to experience changes in muscle strength and coordination, especially in areas that aren't used regularly. And unfortunately, the hips are often neglected, unless we're doing specific exercises to keep them active. Think about it: most daily routines, sitting in a chair watching television, riding in a car, keep the hips in a resting position. Even walking, while helpful, doesn't fully engage all the hip muscles needed for balance support and lifting the leg. Over time, this lack of engagement causes the hip muscles, especially the gluteus medius and minimus, to weaken. But because the change is so gradual, it often goes unnoticed. You might start using your arms to push off from a chair, take shorter steps when walking, or avoid stairs, without realizing your hips are playing a major role in those difficulties. Many people attribute these changes to just getting older. But the truth is, these are often reversible signs of disuse, not a permanent loss of ability. Left unaddressed, weak hip muscles can make everyday movements feel harder. They can also throw off your alignment and increase your risk of tripping or falling, especially when turning, stepping sideways, or walking on uneven ground. You may even begin to feel a lack of confidence when moving around. That little hesitation before you get up. The moment you reach for a nearby chair or counter just to feel stable. These small signs can quietly steal your independence, one step at a time. But here's the hopeful part: awareness is the first step toward strength. At Senior Wellness, we often remind viewers that it's not about doing heavy workouts or pushing through pain. It's about gentle, thoughtful movement done consistently that reactivates the muscles your body depends on. If you've noticed things like difficulty rising from a chair, needing to hold on, when stepping up, or feeling off balance more than usual, your hips might be asking for attention. And the earlier you listen, the better the outcome. As part of your senior living journey, don't underestimate the power of quiet change, both in how weakness develops and in how strength can return. By focusing on small, supportive actions and asking for help when needed, you give your body the chance to regain confidence, and your mind the peace of knowing you're moving with purpose. With ongoing encouragement and knowledge from Senior Wellness, you're never too late or too early to rebuild the strength that keeps you steady, safe, and moving forward. Early warning signs of hip weakness you can notice at home. Hip weakness doesn't always announce itself loudly. In fact, it often begins with the smallest signs, the ones you might brush off or mistake for normal aging. But noticing these subtle changes early can make a big difference in protecting your balance and staying independent. One of the first signs to look for is difficulty standing up from a chair. If you find yourself using your hands to push off the armrests, or needing momentum to rise your hips, may not be supporting your body the way they used to. Strong hip muscles are what allow you to stand up smoothly without leaning forward or straining. Another early sign is shortened stride length. Maybe your steps have gotten smaller, or perhaps walking across the room feels slower than before. This isn't just about your feet or knees. It can be your hips struggling to lift your legs fully with each step. Pay attention, too, to your sense of stability while turning or changing direction. Hip weakness often makes quick turns feel uncertain. If you find yourself hesitating before turning around, or needing to widen your stance for balance, your hips could be part of the reason. Standing on one leg is another simple way to check your hip strength. If you feel wobbly or can't hold the position for even a few seconds, it's a clear message from your body that those stabilizing muscles need support. Some people also describe a sense of one leg feeling heavier or less responsive than the other, especially when going upstairs or stepping over something. This may be due to uneven hip engagement, which can gradually increase your fall risk. And if you've had a minor trip slip or near fall recently, that could also be a quiet warning sign. When your hips are strong, they help you recover your balance. When they're weak, it's harder to catch yourself mid-step. Recognizing these signs isn't about fear, it's about awareness. And through the guidance of Senior Wellness, we believe that small observations lead to smarter care. If you're noticing any of these early signals, it's a good time to check in with your doctor or physical therapist. They can assess your hip strength and help you explore gentle exercises to rebuild stability long before weakness turns into a fall. In the rhythm of senior living, being proactive is one of the most powerful choices you can make. You don't need to wait for a big problem to start making small changes. With caring support and steady guidance from Senior Wellness, you can learn to listen to your body's whispers and take action while those whispers are still quiet. Because every strong step forward begins with noticing where you're standing today. The link between hip weakness and falling in older adults. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury in people over 70. And while many assume it's just part of aging or bad luck, one of the most overlooked contributors is hip weakness. When the muscles around your hips lose strength, your body's ability to stay balanced, lift your legs, and recover from small stumbles is greatly reduced. These muscles, especially those on the sides of the hips, act as natural stabilizers. They help you move confidently and respond quickly when your footing feels uncertain. Without that core stability, everyday tasks like stepping over a rug, turning around quickly, or getting out of a chair become more difficult and risky. Many falls in older adults happen not because of one big misstep, but because the muscles meant to protect you aren't working at full strength anymore. Weak hips can also shift your posture. When your body leans too far forward or to the side, your center of gravity becomes unstable, and that instability increases your chances of falling. There's also a deeper cycle to consider. After a fall, many seniors begin to feel anxious or fearful about walking. That fear often leads to less movement, which causes further muscle loss, especially in the hips and legs. It becomes a silent loop. Fear leads to inactivity. Inactivity leads to more weakness, and weakness raises the risk of another fall. Breaking this cycle starts with understanding the root cause, not just reacting to the fall itself. From the perspective of senior wellness, we encourage a shift in mindset from fear to focus. Rather than avoiding movement, the goal is to gently rebuild the muscles that support movement. That includes safe, low-impact exercises that target the hips and improve stability over time. It's important to note that not all falls are preventable, but many can be reduced or avoided with better strength awareness and small adjustments to your daily habits. Things like placing sturdy chairs near walking paths, improving lighting, or removing loose rugs are all helpful. But they work best when your own body feels strong and steady from the inside out. If you've fallen recently or even had a near miss, don't wait for a second warning. Ask your doctor to assess your hip strength balance and coordination. Even a few minutes of gentle movement each day can begin to reverse weakness and restore confidence. In the rhythm of senior living, every step matters, especially the ones that keep you on your feet. With consistent encouragement and education from Senior Wellness, you have the power to stay strong, safe, and sure-footed. One hip-supported step at a time. Simple exercises to strengthen your hips. If you've noticed signs of hip weakness, maybe it's harder to stand up or you feel a bit wobbly turning around. The good news is you can do something about it. Strengthening your hips doesn't require a gym fancy equipment or intense workouts. In fact, some of the most effective exercises can be done right at home, safely and gently, in just a few minutes a day. Let's explore a few simple movements that many older adults find helpful. These are low impact, focused on stability, and easy to adapt for your comfort level. One of the best places to start is with standing side leg raises. Stand behind a sturdy chair or countertop for balance. Slowly lift one leg out to the side, keeping your body tall and your toes facing forward. Hold for a moment, then lower gently. Repeat this 8 to 10 times on each leg. This exercise strengthens the muscles on the sides of your hips, the ones that help you stay balanced and steady while walking. Next, try sit to stand movements. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Without using your hands, try to stand up slowly, then sit back down with control. If you need to use your hands lightly, at first the goal is to build strength over time. This movement mimics one of the most important daily actions, standing from a seated position. It also engages the hip and thigh muscles together, helping improve both strength and coordination. Another great option is the march-in-place exercise. While standing tall behind a chair, gently lift one knee toward your chest, then lower and repeat with the other leg. Do this slowly and rhythmically. It helps wake up the hip flexors and stabilizers, and it's a great way to work on control and balance without too much strain. If lying down is more comfortable for you, bridging is a gentle floor exercise that can be highly effective. While lying on your back with knees bent and feet flat, slowly lift your hips toward the ceiling. Hold for a second or two, then lower down with control. This works the glutes, an essential part of the hip system, and supports the lower back as well. Before starting any new movement routine, it's always wise to check with your healthcare provider, especially if you've had a fall, joint pain, or balance concerns. They can help guide you on what's safest and most effective for your needs. What matters most is consistency, not perfection. A few minutes a day, a few days a week, can begin to rebuild the strength you need to move with more ease and confidence. In the spirit of senior wellness, these simple exercises are more than just motions. They're quiet investments in your safety, independence, and well-being. And as part of your journey with Senior Health Tips, remember, every time you choose movement, you're choosing resilience. Because stronger hips don't just support your body, they support your life. When to see a doctor and get a hip strength assessment. Knowing when to seek help can make all the difference, especially when it comes to hip strength. While many people brush off early signs of weakness as just aging, the truth is getting a professional assessment early can help you stay steady, safe, and independent longer. So how do you know when it's time to check in with your doctor? One of the most common signs is difficulty standing up without using your hands. If you find yourself relying on armrests or pushing off your knees every time you get out of a chair, that may be a quiet signal that your hip muscles aren't doing their job as well as they used to. Another red flag is feeling unsteady while walking, especially when changing direction or stepping onto uneven ground. If you've started avoiding certain activities like stairs, stepping over objects, or even walking outdoors, it could be a sign that your balance and hip stability need to be evaluated. Even if you haven't fallen, having a near fall or a sudden stumble can be enough reason to ask your doctor for a basic strength and balance check. Many falls happen not because someone trips, but because their body can't recover quickly enough from a small misstep, often due to hip weakness. Some other reasons to seek a professional evaluation include pain or stiffness in your hips when moving. Noticing one leg feels weaker or less stable than the other. Trouble lifting your leg high enough to climb stairs or step into the shower. A noticeable change in your walking speed or stride. A doctor or physical therapist can perform simple, non-invasive tests to check your hip strength, flexibility, and balance. These may include sit-to-stand tests, walking assessments, or gentle resistance movements. In some cases, they might suggest additional evaluations to rule out joint nerve or circulation issues. And here's the important part. Getting this kind of checkup doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're paying attention. You're choosing to stay informed and ahead of changes before they affect your safety. As part of your journey with senior wellness, we encourage older adults to see strength and balance as skills worth checking, just like vision or hearing. When you catch a problem early, you give yourself the best chance to strengthen and improve rather than react later on. In the world of senior living, being proactive is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. If you're unsure whether it's time to get checked, just start with a conversation. Ask your doctor if a hip strength assessment could be helpful. It's a simple step that could protect your mobility, boost your confidence, and keep you moving with greater ease. With care support and trusted guidance from Senior Wellness, every decision you make for your health is a step towards staying strong, safe, and steady, not just today, but for all the days ahead. The strength in your hips isn't just about muscles, it's about movement, confidence, and the freedom to keep doing what you love. Too often, the early signs of hip weakness are dismissed or overlooked. But as you've seen in this video, small changes in strength can lead to bigger changes in balance. And with awareness comes the power to protect yourself before a fall ever happens. Taking care of your hips means taking care of your independence. Whether it's adding a few simple exercises to your day, noticing a subtle shift in how you walk, or having an open conversation with your doctor, every step you take matters. And you don't have to do it alone. With ongoing support from Senior Wellness, you can move forward with greater strength, clarity, and peace of mind. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe for more encouraging practical content designed for your well-being. Because stronger hips mean steadier steps, and steadier steps lead to a fuller, safer life.